Plastic Model Builders. Hello, it's me, Ari Stone with Plastic Model Builder, and this is the Tamiya F-35A Lightning II 1/48 scale. Here, painting the missiles and the bombs. So we've got this big old guy here. We are going to paint this whole thing, or at least the majority of it, olive drab. Then we're going to mask it off. Then you've got this one right here, the paveway. Going to paint that partially olive drab as well. We have this right here. This is going to go light ghost gray. After we're done painting light ghost gray on this, we're going to do the sidewinder and as well the other big bomb that you just saw. So here's that sidewinder. Like I said, that also goes a light ghost gray except for the tip and the fins. Those are going to go a silver color. So what we're doing here, we are masking off to be able to paint the frame. There's a lot of little masking to do here. Some of this you won't see if this is inserted into the aircraft because it sits on the other side. So just keep note of that and mask it how you want. Got a little bit of putty going on there for this. So I take a large piece of tape. I basically just stick it in the center right here. Press it in real good, that way I could see it, outline it, and then slowly cut it out with a hobby knife. And that way it leaves the tape inside. There are various ways you can do this. You can use liquid mask if you want to. I used actual masking tape as my method of choice. So I'm going around this, which is pure model making madness. I had to make this look pretty, of course. Model making, yes. So that's it right there. We're going to do all these. There are two of these. Just carefully pull up the masking tape. You got to do one on each side, and of course there are two of these wonderful bombs, so you have to double that. So just tedious, a lot of masking involved here. This right here, the paveway, you have the little slots there, so I kind of make sure I get the tape inside of there. This is kind of rubber stretchy tape. So that goes in very easily. It's thin, so it's easy to manipulate and bend. You see how I'm just working it in there, lightly pressing it into place. That way you can paint your fins and you don't get any paint on the insides there. Here I'm just rolling it around. That way I can hold the middle of this and then the outside will get painted. Here one more time. With that, you can see what gets masked off there. And I'm going to show you here. This is an example. This is how the balancers fit inside. You can press them in like that, or you can stick them into the pylon, which will go inside of the bomb bay, which is the whole thing about this glorious model, despite the fact that it goes together really well. I'm using some liquid mask here. You can use liquid mask. One of them I just mask off regularly with tape, just because I wanted to do both ways to see what way I liked best. Granted, I'm only doing one of these. So you see how that kind of curves like that? That is intentional. That is the actual curve of that frame there, which is going to get painted a light ghost gray as well. And just make this look pretty as you're going along and doing this stuff. So here, putting another piece of tape, that's that other bomb right there, showing you that I masked off what I did liquid mask on the other one, just so you can see how I did it. And you can see all the tedious masking that's actually involved with this. So here, painting this a light ghost gray color. There are also silver spots that we will do on this, which kind of go along the frame. It's the nose. You see right here, these are the fins that I'm talking about. Paint those as well. Get all of that. You're going to see what that looks like. The tip of this is going to go orange, by the way. So you'll take care of that. Make that look good. Here's that other bomb. You see, this is pretty much what it looks like. The decals, there's a lot of those as well. So take your time with these and just make them look pretty. Time to take off the masking so you can see how good of a paint job I did. Keep in mind, because half of these were lacquer paints, I was able to touch it rather quickly because it did light coats and it dried very fast. And it's starting to actually look like a bomb, a real one. This is what it looks like right here. Got a little bit more masking to peel off. You can see how I kind of just slowly work it. And you see how that edges right there is angled. That's how it's supposed to be. So go around this right here. Get off our rubbery tape on both sides. You see that edge right there. Got my toothpick on each of these. Going to use some tweezers. You see how well that turned out. There's a real debate on figuring out how to actually mess this stuff off, which I guess everyone goes through, figuring out which way to do it best. So that's how I did mine. As you can see out right here, I'm using my knife to cut around the liquid mask for the paint, just to make sure I don't have any paint peels, because you see how that paint stuck to that. I did get a little bit of paint peel, not too bad. Peeling off our tape on the paveway. And this is what that looks like. Just about done. We do have some little silver detail that we need to do on some of these. So we'll get to doing those later on, so just keep watching. So right here, like I said, we've got the little tip. It's going to paint that silver on this bomb. Just a little bit. Just, you see how I'm going around this, making that look pretty. More model making madness. That's how I do it. Here's the end. That's a little bit of a different color, more of a metallic silver. So you get that. And I think these missiles, bombs, they all turn out very well. So right here, this is the nose cone of the Sidewinder. This will go like a silver color, and then we're going to do the fins, which is a kind of silver and black. So pay attention to that when you do these. As you can see, I just used the paintbrush, did it very carefully. Risked it a little bit, hoped I didn't make a mess. Here's the tip of that paveway, which goes orange. So I basically have orange paint just to paint tips of missiles. It's great. I love it. So that is that. And you see here's a very close-up look of what that's going to look like. Got a nice amount on the brush there, and kind of just let it feed through the other side. All right, so here are the fins. Like I said, those go like a silver and black. It's just a very light tint. You can look on the instructions. If you're using Tamiya colors, it will tell you which ones to use, and that's why these fins, as you can see, barely a different shade of what's on the thing there. Not a lot, but just enough. So you see I do one side, and then I flip it over, go back in reverse, and get the other sides. Gotta love Sidewinders. And the other things that are not actually sparrows, but big enough to be a sparrow. It's just a larger version. It's like a Super Hornet, where it's technically not a Hornet, but it is a Hornet. They just got away with one. Good stuff. So we also got those rear fins right there. And pretty soon we can start putting on the decals on all these. We do have to paint the tip of the other missiles a white color. You see there's the balancers. We're painting those silver. Just show you how those go in to this aircraft right here. You can put it in like that, press it in really good. 2 of those. And then you put the rail on there, which you see right there, and then it just fits into the aircraft. Just like that. So now this is a little bit of silver detail. Should have some there, and it should go over a little bit onto that frame. I never did that, but it is what it is. I could always take them out if I wanted to. I do believe when I did glue them down, I used regular thick cement. That way they would stay in there because it's hard to reach. So you're getting more silver little areas right here on these gigantic sparrows, even though they're not sparrows. I know that, but it's basically a sparrow. It's just a little bit longer. Same concept. Got our Sidewinder again. Just getting that little detail, going very carefully with it. Each one of these gets it. So again, make your missiles look pretty. They're a highlight of this model. You got this right here, gloss white on the tip. So go careful with that. Some of those actually have like a little sensor in them, and it would be clear. This right here also goes white. Give it 2 coats. That way it really, the first coat dries, and then the second coat can really shine through and be really pretty. Alright, so the fun part, putting on all these decals. This is round, so just take your time with it. Slowly get it on there, work it into place. Use water, dry it, however you want to do it. You see all these decals. I should probably just let them speak for themselves, but it's fun to narrate. You got that little guy right there. And this, make sure these face the right direction, because I believe this is actually facing the wrong direction, and I do have to turn that around a little bit later, and I will show you that soon. Right there. See how that goes? So then you have your bands right here, which determine whether or not it's armed, active, inactive, inert, whatever you want to call it. They've got a lot of those bands, 2 of those. This one is a yellow and a brown one, as you can see. Just like that. I do not know what all the colors are. I know there are many that do. Some of them are blue, some of them are not. It all depends on, like I said, if it's an active missile or not. So you see all these that go onto this. Half the decals are in the armament, it seems like, and it takes forever to put them on. You're going to spend a good while doing it, so be prepared. This is the madness part of model making. There you go. You see how that turned out? Very nice. Got this thing over the sidewinder. Goes on there. You may want to cut off like the clear around each one of these. That way they sit better. Makes it a little bit easier to put on, especially when it meets up with those things right there. And you got more words, and the words are actually fairly readable. I was shocked. You can try to read some of those and you'll be like, wow, I understood exactly what that said. Still working on these sidewinders. I'm not sure if I have one of these on backwards or not. It actually goes up a little bit further, like you see right there. It was hard to tell with the instructions, so I put it on how I wanted. That's how you see that. This is a decal that goes on the bottom. See how that goes right there. Got those little stickers that go in the inside. Each one is the same. I cut around, like you see right there where it mounts with the round parts, because it was such a better fit to do so. You'll see how this lays into place better. So I recommend doing that. Take your time and make these look good. Put that right there. And then that piece right there. Like I said, lots of decals on this. You have that right there. And then this one on each fin on one side, so get all those. You got your little markings on the tail there. And of course, one more of these and some of those. Remember, a lot of decals. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, of course. That way you can see my channel. And as always, until next time, see ya.